So you want to start wrenching on your bike, but you can't afford the tools. Let's talk about that. Let's get cracking. Good moto morning, beautiful people. Welcome to Kraken's Garage. Today's episode, we're going to talk about how to fill your toolbox on the cheap and how did Kraken get all his tools that he has for only a couple $100. Also, we're going to give a shout out at the end of this video. This one is an unusual shout out, but you'll find out why it's unusual at the end of this video. I hope you stick around to find out who that is. Let's say you're 20, 22 years old, just out of college, you just bought your first bike, you're broke, and you would like to get into wrenching. And it's very difficult to wrap your mind about what tools you need and what you need to get up and started, and that comes over time. Today we're going to cover how to fill that toolbox on the cheap. I'm talking about when you go to your big box stores. It could be Lowe's, Home Depot, Costco. You will find giant sets of mechanics tool sets, and that's specifically what you're looking for. Specifically, brands that come to mind are Craftsman, Gear Wrench, Husky, which is a brand name for Home Depot, Cobalt, which is Lowe's house brand, and Pittsburgh, which is Harbor Freight's house brand. DeWalt, Crescent, and Star work. My first advice to you is buy a service manual for your specific bike. In this particular case, it's for my ZX4RR. In this massive manual is pictures and how-to on how to fix just about everything on your bike. Some of it may be above your pay grade, that's fine, then you take it to the shop. But you can save a load of money if you learn how to wrench on it yourself. Now, most of these tool sets that you see, I'll be showing examples up here. These kits that you can buy from these big box stores are made in China, Taiwan, or Vietnam, or a combination of the three. My particular brand of tools is Cobalt, which is Lowe's. My kit that I bought was 310 pieces or something for $299. That was less price on it. And of those tools, there's a conglomeration that's packaged in China, made up of tools from Taiwan and Vietnam. I'm not bashing any of these countries. It's the way of the world is. All my life, I have been a Sears Craftsman tool user. I don't know, 5-6 years ago, I went to Sears and Roebuck, took my ratchet wrench that was broken, and said, give me a new one. And they said, we don't do that. You leave it here, you come back in 3 days and we replace the gears on it. And I'm like, that's not what I bought or what I signed up for. It was no questions asked, replacement. So I asked to speak to the manager, and he said, it is what it is. Globalization, tools are now made in Asia. This is what you get, this is what we have to offer. I can't help you past that. It's not his fault. He's just an employee working for Sears. It's Sears and Roebuck's fault. And shame on them. They lost their biggest asset they had, and it was bought out, I believe, in 2017 by Black & Decker. Black & Decker signed an agreement with Lowe's, and now Sears Craftsman tools are retailed out of the Lowe's stores at this time. So my feelings were, why would I continue to buy Sears Craftsman and pay Sears Craftsman made in USA prices? If I'm going to get Asian made tools, I'm going to pay Asian prices. So I started looking. Now I went to my Lowe's shop on Father's Day weekend. They always have sales, and you need to pay attention to this. This is a pro tip. If you're going to march in this band and look for these type of tool sets on sale at Harbor Freight, Lowe's, Home Depot, etc., go on specific holidays. That's typically geared towards men, such as Father's Day, or generic holidays such as Labor Day, 4th of July for North America for the birth of United States. Holidays of that nature, you will find these tool sets on sale. So that $299 maybe become $259, $249. Still not a bad deal. What did Kraken pay for his 310-piece tool set? $105. And how I found such a good deal is when you're in there and you go into the tool section, normally in the front of these big box stores, of the tool section, They have the stuff they're trying to get rid of, and every year they come out with a brand new set of tools that is supposed to be the latest and greatest thing, and meanwhile they have the leftovers from 223 laying on the shelf there, and they deeply discount them just to get rid of them. I'm not brand specific, so I went with Cobalt because I'm cheap, and for $105 I was able to fill my entire toolbox with about 90% of what I need to wrench on my bikes. So your takeaway from this is try to, every time you go in a big box store, picking up some varnish, sandpaper, there's always something you're working on. Go by their tool section and just take a look at the sets and see if they're blowing any of them out on sale. These big box stores will even post their discontinued tools on eBay. So you might want to check there as well as Amazon. There's deals to be had out there if you're thrifty and know where to look. Just know what you're looking at when you go to look at these tool sets, and don't get sold by the total number of tools. A lot of times they will include a bunch of driver bits, like 75 of them, and boast about how the kit has almost 400 tools. Well, yeah, you're only going to use a couple of these, and it winds up being counterproductive and just a sales pitch. So what you're looking for is the number of wrenches, the number of sockets, and 1/4 inch, 3/8, and 1/2 inch drive, and you need all three of those ratchets, plus the extensions, and hopefully your kit also has the pivoting extensions that get you to wrench around a corner. Now let's talk about this beautiful case. I love lime green. Obviously anybody that watches my channel knows that. And what did I pay for this toolbox? It was again another holiday. I went down to the store because I saw on the local ad online they had this green toolbox. I want to say it was around $599 on sale. I don't know much about toolboxes. Harbor Freight has them branded US General. There's Cobalt brand for Home Depot. They're all pretty much made in Asia, and you get what you pay for. They're not super nice. None of these tools are super nice. And I want to make a mention here. If you want to see a nice set of tools, check out my good friend 𝕒𝕉 from GlidingOnTwos video. I'll post a link right up here. He goes over his toolbox. This gentleman is a professional Harley-Davidson tech, and he's looking at snap-on tools in his box. And I would venture to say what you're looking at in that video is probably about $20,000 worth. They are the real deal. These tools I'm buying are not, but will they get me by? Yes, they will. I'm not a professional tech, so they'll do you and me just fine. There's no reason to buy Snap-on unless you're doing it for a living. There's another channel I want to mention is called ProjectFarm, and this guy has 3.1 million subs. This guy is legit. He buys every one of these tool sets as an example, and then he stress tests them. He stress tests the wrenches. He has bought all the devices to check these tools out and see how legitimate they are, and then he gives them a numeric value rating, puts it on a spreadsheet, and shows you which one is the best value for the money, and then he gives his final thoughts, which may be different than yours. And all of it is out of his own pocket. He doesn't accept any paid promotions or anything like that, so I have huge respect for this man. Check out his channel on this very topic we're talking about, and he dives into a deep dive on these tools, including my Cobalt tools, on how they rate it. Now, my tools rated somewhere in the middle, but at $105, that brought it right up to the top for me because I'm cheap. So on the toolbox, this toolbox was $599, I want to say, if I remember correctly. And I went and looked at it. The one on display had a great big dent in the bottom drawer. I'll show a picture up here. And I'm like, ding, 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 opportunity. So I'm like, can I see the manager, please? And the store manager or the manager who handles the tool sections, I don't care. He came over and I said, I'd like to buy this toolbox, but you got a great big dent. I don't care if you have a new one in the back. Are you willing to let this one go at a lesser price? And he said, well, I haven't given it any thought. And I said, I'll give you $350 for this toolbox with a dent and carry it out. And he said, sold. Just about half price on this toolbox because I took advantage of a situation. These big box stores are in the business of moving a lot of product quickly. And if you find an avenue and know how to massage it a little bit, you can usually find some good deals. I hope you learned something from today's video to help some person getting into wrenching and starting out, to get them a leg up. As you progress and you find that you are enjoying wrenching, then buy better tools later on down the road when you can afford them. But this will get you up and rolling and handle 90% of what this manual is going to teach you how to do. And you know what time it is. This week's shout out goes to Tomostuneups. Christopher has 1,720 subs. He has 241 videos out. His specialité is classic vintage Mini Coopers. He does DIY videos on upkeep of these cars and bringing them up into the next millennium as far as their specs and performance. How I met Christopher was when Leanne and Gary were driving us around. We stopped for a gas break in the parking lot. I was outside while they were inside. I saw this Mini Cooper. It was beautiful, just spotless, and I was drooling all over it and checking it out. And Christopher came out and we got to chatting. He has a YouTube channel. He even gave me a shout out on Instagram and also on his YouTube channel. So this is a long overdue shout out for him. Bit unusual from a motorcycle content channel, but should you have any interest in mini motos of the classic variant, he is, to my knowledge, Australia's only Mini Cooper classic channel with DIY content to work on your cars. Fascinating young man, wonderful content. If you go over and check him out, please let him know that Kraken sent you. Thank you for joining me today. I wish you all the very best. I love you all. Remember, folks, go riding because it's good for you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.